After signing the agreement, Isabella Jones stepped out and happened to catch a live interview with Samuel Grant on the news. The host asked, "Mr. Grant, you're so young and accomplished. What's your secret to success?" Samuel raised his left hand and pointed to the wedding ring on his ring finger. "The secret is simple. I have a wonderful wife." The host blinked in surprise. "Oh, I thought you'd share some insights about the industry and your future plans instead." "That's not important. All the wealth I have right now doesn't compare to even a single strand of my wife's hair." "Wow, I really envy your wife." On the screen, Samuel glanced at his watch, then smiled at the camera. "Sorry, we'll have to pause the interview for a moment. Time's almost up. I'd like to use this live broadcast to say something to my wife." "Of course, Mr. Grant. Go ahead." Samuel's voice softened. "Bella, I just had someone bring you some ginger tea with honey. It should be arriving soon. Drink it and get some good rest. I'll give you a massage when I get home." Around her, a few young women gathered, watching the live broadcast on the big screen. They couldn't help but murmur in envy. Who is Mr. Grant's wife? To have a man like him so completely devoted. That's so sweet. He dotes on her so much. Ugh, I'm so jealous. The sound of admiring voices filled Isabella's ears. Yet, the person in question remained silent, smiling mockingly. Everyone thought she was the lucky one, that in a past life she must have saved the entire galaxy to have married a man like Samuel. She used to think so too. But no one knew that Samuel had another woman on the side. They had been married for 5 years, and for 4.5 of them, Samuel had been seeing this other woman. Every time he said he was on a business trip, he was really with her, indulging in passion and unrestrained affection. Isabella still remembered the first time she had seen those videos. Her heart felt like it had been pierced 1,000 times with needles, pulled out and stabbed again and again. By the end, it was shattered and broken beyond repair. She also remembered when she was bullied in school. Samuel had stepped in, shielding her from the torment and fiercely teaching the bullies a lesson he had told her. "Don't be afraid. I'll protect you from now on." There was another time when they were driving, and an out-of-control truck came barreling toward them. Samuel's first instinct was to throw himself in front of her, shielding her with his own body. He ended up in the hospital for over 6 months, barely surviving, almost becoming a vegetable. When he finally woke up, his first words were to ask the nurse, "Is Bella okay?" When the nurse confirmed she was fine, he let out a sigh of relief and said, "As long as Bella is fine, it doesn't matter what happens to me." That was the moment Isabella truly fell in love with him, the man who would risk his life to protect her. She didn't understand it. How could Samuel claim to love her while shamelessly sleeping with another woman? Was it true that men could separate love from desire? Isabella gently touched the wedding ring on her finger before taking it off. She walked past a disabled beggar sitting by the roadside, his empty tin cup containing only a few coins. Isabella approached him and dropped the ring into his cup. "Sell this. The money from it will be enough to buy a house and start a small business." The beggar thanked her repeatedly. In truth, Isabella had put it rather mildly. The ring was a custom design by a foreign jeweler, and the diamonds alone were worth millions. But now she didn't want it anymore. If a wedding ring symbolized love and loyalty, then her wedding ring was worth nothing right now. Her phone rang. It was Samuel. "Bella, where are you? The person with the ginger tea and honey came to the house, but you weren't there." His voice was urgent, like he was genuinely worried about her. Isabella replied flatly, "I just stepped out for a walk." "Where are you now?" "I'll come pick you up right away." "No need, I'll be home soon." "No, you're on your period. I can't just leave you alone." Samuel arrived within 5 minutes. He rushed out of the car, quickly removed his coat, and draped it over her shoulders before pulling her into his arms. "Why are you dressed so lightly? You can't get cold when you're on your period." As Isabella looked up at him in his embrace, she noticed several fresh, red marks around his throat. They were recent. There were also teeth imprints. His clothes smelled faintly of a woman's perfumed so. He had just left Jennifer Lewis's bed before heading to the interview. As Samuel gently rubbed her fingers, he suddenly exclaimed in surprise, "Bella, where's your wedding ring?" Isabella pulled her hand out of Samuel's grasp. "Maybe I lost it when I left the house this morning." Samuel immediately reached for his phone to dial a number. "I'll have someone go look for it right now." Isabella shook her head. "No need. Just consider it lost. How can you just let it go? This ring is our wedding ring. It's proof of our love." Proof of their love had already been shattered beyond recognition by his countless betrayals. Isabella laughed softly. It's just a piece of jewelry. It doesn't guarantee love. Samuel insisted, diamonds are the hardest thing on earth. It represents my unchanging heart for you. And what if one day you betray me? That's impossible. I'm asking what if. Samuel looked at her, his gaze sincere, even solemn. He swore, if I ever betray you, let me be pierced by 1,000 arrows and die a painful death. Isabella turned her face away, not wanting to see the fake earnesty in his eyes. Back when she still loved him, hearing him make such an earnest vow would have made her rush to cover his mouth, worried that she was pushing him too far, forcing him to swear like that. But now, she didn't love him anymore, and his words only sounded like a joke. Bella. Samuel wrapped his arms around her from behind, his voice tinged with a hint of complaint. Why do I feel like something's off lately? You've been so distant. I haven't. You have, he insisted. Bella, is it because I've been too busy and haven't had time for you? Are you upset with me? I told you I'm not, she said. Let go of me. I won't, he said, pulling her closer. Next week is our 5th wedding anniversary, Bella. I've prepared a surprise for you. Just then, his phone rang. Samuel immediately released her and pulled out his phone, glancing at the screen. From Isabella's point of view, she saw him smirk, a mischievous glint in his eyes. As his gaze on the screen turned suddenly suggestive, he quickly typed a reply. Then he looked at her with a slight apology and said, Bella, there's an urgent matter at the company. I need to head out right now. There was still a flicker of hope inside Isabella. When will you be back? Samuel wrapped an arm around her, kissing her gently on the forehead. I might not be back tonight. But tomorrow morning, I'll bring you your favorite pastries, okay? Just like that, he was gone. His tablet was still on the couch in the living room. Isabella picked it up, noticing that his WhatsApp was still logged in. 2 minutes ago, a woman under the name Little Tease had sent him a picture. The woman was dressed in a bunny girl outfit, black fishnet stockings, and bright red high heels. Her eyes were half-lidded, her cheeks flushed, and she was licking her finger seductively. Samuel, want more? Little Tease, it's so lonely and empty when you're not here, master. Samuel, I gave you love 7 times today. Isn't that enough? Little Tease, are you coming over, master? I'm yours tonight. Do whatever you want. Samuel's reply was short. Samuel, I'm coming. Isabella turned the tablet off, her heart sinking as she closed her eyes in pain. She thought she had stopped caring, but seeing those messages again felt like a brutal punch to the gut. Tears rolled down her cheeks, hot and relentless. She didn't know when she fell asleep, but all she could remember was dreaming of a man and a woman rolling in the sheets together. The man's face was Samuel's. Just then, her phone vibrated. She opened it to find a video. The scene in the video mirrored the one in her dream perfectly. The man and woman were passionately tangled together, even more intensely than in her dream. Samuel's face was twisted in lust, and she felt nothing but disgust. Jennifer, have you ever seen him like this? He says he can only let himself go like this with me. The short, 1-minute video quickly ended, and then it looped. Again and again. Isabella watched it like it was some kind of self-inflicted punishment, over and over again. She needed to make herself see Samuel for what he was right now, to strip away the last shred of love she had for him, and finally drive him out of her heart. Her lawyer had already drafted the divorce papers. She wiped away her tears, then carefully placed the divorce papers into a delicate gift box and tied a ribbon around it. Samuel didn't return until the next afternoon, carrying a box of pastries. Sweetheart, I promised to bring you these, your favorite pastries. Aren't you happy? Isabella gave him a distracted hum. Noticing the redness around her eyes, Samuel gently cupped her face, kissing away the tears. Why are you crying? Who upset my precious wife? Tell me, and I'll make sure they pay for it. He still carried that sickly sweet scent of someone who had just indulged in an affair, mixed with the faint traces of another woman's perfume. It made her stomach churn. Isabella pushed his hand away, creating some space between them. No one, she replied flatly. I just watched a really touching movie last night. Samuel pulled her into his arms, his voice full of concern. Don't watch them alone anymore. Let me watch them with you next time. Watch with her. He was too busy giving all his time to Jennifer. Isabella suddenly wanted to ask him if he even had time to spend with her anymore. Samuel pointed to the delicate gift box on the coffee table, his face lighting up with surprise. Bella, is this for me? Isabella nodded. You said you had a surprise for me for our 5th wedding anniversary, right? Well, I have a surprise for you too. Samuel looked thrilled, holding the gift box like it was the most precious thing. Can I open it now? Isabella said. Our anniversary is a week from now. You can open it then. Samuel thought for a moment, then nodded with a patient smile. Okay, let's open our surprises together. It'll be more meaningful that way. Isabella suddenly had the urge to see Samuel's reaction when he found out she had passed away and when he saw the divorce papers after. Would he be shocked, confused, or surprised? Samuel, ever the charmer, tried to cheer her up. I heard there's a good movie out. How about I take you to see it? Isabella wasn't interested, but the theater he mentioned was right next to their old high school. It was the place where he had confessed his love to her for the first time. Back in their school days, they spent countless romantic, sweet moments on the street behind the school. It was a place that witnessed the happiest days of their love. Since that was where it all began, it might as well be where it ended. When they arrived at the theater, it was a little crowded. Samuel wrapped his arm around her protectively, pulling her close to shield her from the pressing crowd. Among the crowd, a few young women recognized them. Hey, isn't that Mr. Grant? The woman he's holding is his wife, right? She's so beautiful. How does someone like Mr. Grant even exist? He's so handsome and devoted. They're such a perfect match. They really do look amazing together. Samuel continued to protectively lead her to their seats. Then he carefully helped her out of her jacket and held it for her. The theater manager, Isaac Smith, approached them with a wide grin, carrying a hand warmer and a cup of ginger tea with honey. Mr. Grant, we heard that Mrs. Grant is going through a special time right now. We've prepared these just as you asked. Please let us know if you need anything else. Samuel took the items from him. He placed the hand warmer on her belly and then handed her the tea. The temperature's just right. Would you like a sip, Bella? Isabella mechanically accepted his care, remaining silent the entire time. Samuel frowned slightly, then turned to Isaac. Go and get some snacks, but nothing too greasy, spicy, or sweet. Bella doesn't like those. Of course, Mr. Grant, I'll be right back. Isaac hurried off. The movie's opening credits began on the big screen. Just then, a woman approached Isabella's side and quietly said, "Excuse me, my seat is inside. Could you please let me through?" The lights in the theater had already dimmed and Isabella didn't immediately realize what was happening. She quickly moved aside, letting the woman pass. It wasn't until the woman walked past her and then Samuel, finally settling in the seat next to him, that Isabella understood. She suddenly realized that the voice she had just heard was so familiar. It was the same voice from the video. The woman was Jennifer, the same girl who had been tangled up with Samuel in the video. The next moment, the cup in Jennifer's hand tilted. The entire drink spilled across Samuel's stomach. Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. Jennifer apologized, fumbling for a napkin from her bag to help him wipe it off. The dampness was on his stomach, but her hands kept sliding down, pressing in places that made Isabella's stomach churn. At the same time, Isabella could clearly feel the arm around her shoulder suddenly tighten. Along with that, his whole body tensed up. Out of the corner of her eye, Isabella glanced at Samuel's lower part. Jennifer's hand was underneath, with Samuel's hand firmly pressing down on hers, his gaze seeming to warn her not to cause trouble. But Jennifer continued to act as though nothing was wrong. She continued smiling and wiping. "Sir, how about I just buy you a new pair of pants?" "No need." Samuel's voice had turned rough and strained. The movie started. It was an animated film. The animals were cute, and the plot was funny, but Isabella couldn't focus on it at all. 10 minutes into the movie, Samuel suddenly stood up. "Bella, Isaac doesn't know what snacks you like." "I'll go check." He still held her coat in his hand, draped over his forearm, covering the obvious state on the lower half of his body. As he walked away, Jennifer stood up as well and followed him. When she passed by Isabella, she flashed a disdainful smirk and shot her a quick glance. The look seemed to say, "See? He chose me." 5 minutes later, Isabella received a text. Women's restroom. She quickly left the theater and headed to the restroom at the end of the hallway. From the first stall in the women's restroom, she could hear muffled groans and faint pleas, no doubt Jennifer's voice, and the man's voice. Isabella knew it all too well. She stood frozen, rooted to the spot, unable to move. The noise from the stall grew louder, and the woman let out a sharp cry. Then, Samuel's mocking voice came, "Is that all you can handle? You chased after me to the theater, and this is how you perform." Jennifer whimpered, and it was hard to tell if she was crying or laughing. "I miss you. I just can't stand seeing you with her." Samuel's tone cooled slightly. "I can give you everything else, but our affair can't be dragged in front of Bella. You've crossed the line tonight." "Okay, I get it." But don't you think it's exciting to be in a dark theater like this? It's a thrill. He chuckled softly. It is a bit. Then, should we continue tonight? His voice was hoarse and strained. I'll buy tickets in a bit for the midnight show. Make sure it's the last row, okay? That way we won't have to hide in the bathroom. We can just be in our seats, not far off. Isaac hurried over. But he wasn't holding snacks, he had a small square box in his hands. He quietly called out near the women's restroom door, Mr. Grant, I've bought the thing you asked for. The noise inside finally quieted for a moment, and Samuel appeared at the door. Isabella quickly stepped behind a pillar, her heart racing. Samuel chuckled lightly. That was fast. Of course, the movie's short, only 3 hours. Can't waste a moment of your special time, Isaac replied. Samuel sounded pleased. Take good care of Bella. Don't let her notice anything unusual, understood? You can count on me, Mr. Grant. Mrs. Grant is so innocent. Women like her are easy to please, she'll believe anything you tell her. Isabella fled as if running for her life. Back in her seat, she let herself cry for a few minutes. But then she forced herself to stop. This was the last time. This was the last time she would cry for Samuel, but it wasn't really for him. It was for the pure-hearted boy in her memories, the one who had only eyes for her. The man with her now was nothing like that boy anymore, and since he wasn't, she wouldn't hold on to him anymore. Samuel didn't return until the movie was almost over. He still smelled of that sickly sweet, pungent scent. In addition to that, he brought a box of popcorn. Bella, I'm sorry I'm late. The popcorn machine broke down at the theater, and they spent forever fixing it. It's freshly made, though. Eat it while it's warm. Isabella waved her hand. I don't want any. Not even the ginger tea with honey. I don't want it. Alright, no food, no drink then. Let's just watch the movie. Isabella scoffed. The movie's almost over. It's all that technician's fault. He took so long to fix the machine. So, for the last 3 hours you've just been waiting for him to fix it. Samuel nodded earnestly. Yes, Isaac can vouch for me. If you don't believe me, you can ask him. No need, Isabella said, grabbing her bag and walking away. Samuel hurried after her, holding her coat and the popcorn. Bella, just tell me what I did wrong. I'll change, okay? Don't ignore me. I'm scared. Scared of what? Scared that you don't love me anymore. Isabella stopped and turned to face him, looking straight into his eyes. It was he who had betrayed their relationship first. It was he who said one thing and did another. It was he who stopped cherishing her. Since that was the case, she decided to take back everything. Her heart, her trust, her love, and her body. She had given a piece of her clothing to Full Life Solutions, the agency that was faking her death. She had torn it up, then bit her finger and smeared the blood on it. A week later, he would receive that bloody shirt. And she? She would be gone from his life forever. Bella, why aren't you saying anything? Isabella exhaled deeply, her voice flat. It's just my period. I'm a little tired. Let me take you home to rest. Okay. On the way home, Samuel kept trying to talk to her, telling her jokes. But Isabella only responded with, I'm a bit tired. I want to rest. With that, Samuel fell silent. When they arrived home, he walked her to the bedroom. Isabella asked, Are you still going to the office tonight to handle work? Samuel hummed in acknowledgement. There are a few things left to do. I didn't finish them yesterday, so I'll need to work late tonight. Then you should go. Isabella turned her back to him as she lay down, sending a silent signal for him to leave. Samuel stood still, not moving. He seemed to sense that something was off, but couldn't quite figure out what was wrong. Isabella suddenly had the urge to play a little prank. She turned to him and said, Can you not go tonight? Samuel visibly relaxed. She still depended on him, still acted a little spoiled, and still wanted him close. That meant she hadn't discovered anything. He smiled gently. Sweetheart, I've already made plans. The executives are all waiting for me. But next week, I'll make time to spend with you, okay? Next week. Yeah. Isn't next weekend our 5-year anniversary? I'm planning a grand ceremony to let everyone in Herswick City know that you're the woman I love most in this life. A grand ceremony? Isabella smiled. That made it all the more exciting. Alright then. Go ahead. You're such a good girl, Bella. I'm leaving then. It's about time for the meeting, and I can't keep them waiting. Was he in a rush to not keep them waiting, or to not keep her waiting? Samuel hurried out. The tablet on the couch began vibrating again. They were in touch once more. Samuel, are you ready? Jennifer sent a picture. This time she was in a nurse's uniform. Of course, not the proper kind. What should be exposed was, and what shouldn't was also exposed. Samuel, I'll make sure you scream tonight. Isabella turned off the tablet and began gathering her things. Her clothes, her purse, her shoes, everything Samuel had ever given her over the years. Then, she went into the closet and continued pulling things out. Her hand paused for a moment when she touched a metal box. Inside the box were the letters Samuel had written to her. There was a thick stack of them. When they first got together, he wrote, "From today, Bella is my one true love." On his birthday, he wrote, "My birthday wish is to spend a lifetime loving Bella and growing old together." For Isabella's 20th birthday, he wrote, "My darling Bella is of legal age now. I can't wait to marry you." On their wedding day, he wrote, "To the most beautiful and lovable Princess Bella, welcome to my world." Isabella didn't care to look at the rest. She took all the letters outside and burned them, letting the fire consume them completely. The next morning, she was woken by the sound of Samuel entering the room. He sounded angry. "Bella, our wedding ring was stolen by a beggar, and he sold it at a pawn shop." Isabella felt a pang of disappointment. How did he find it? And he sold it for only 10,000. It's such an insult to our ring. He came over, took her hand, and tried to put the ring back on her finger. "Now let's return it to its rightful owner." Isabella pulled her hand back, refusing to wear the ring again. Samuel seemed confused. "Bella, what's wrong?" "It's nothing, I've gained a bit of weight recently, and the ring doesn't fit anymore." Samuel laughed. "That's okay. I'll take it to the jeweler to resize it for you." "Whatever," Isabella replied, then asked, "You didn't do anything to that beggar, did you?" Samuel came closer and hugged her. "Don't worry. I know how kind-hearted you are, Bella. You wouldn't want to see the beggar suffer. I didn't hold him accountable. Maybe we should give him some more money. He's pitiful. All right, I'll give him another 10,000 later." Just then Isabella's phone rang, and she answered it. "Hello, Ms. Jones, this is Full Life Solutions. We've completed the new identification documents as per your request. Are you available to pick them up?" "Sure. Send me the address. I'll send the location to your phone shortly. By the way, will the new documents allow me to purchase flight tickets?" "Don't worry, they will be fully valid for that." "Okay, thank you." After Isabella hung up the call, Samuel suddenly seemed anxious and wrapped his arms around her. "Bella, what's this about new documents? Flight tickets? Are you leaving? Where are you going?" Being held by Samuel used to feel like happiness, but now Isabella only felt discomfort. She broke free from his embrace and stepped away from him, putting a few paces between them. Samuel seemed even more panicked and rushed after her. "Bella, do you want to go on a trip?" "Next week, I promise I'll clear my schedule and spend all my time with you. Don't be mad. Don't leave me, okay?" Isabella only felt a cold emptiness inside. The man who was begging her not to leave, pleading like this, was he the real Samuel? Or was it the man she had seen on the video, tangled up with Jennifer? Isabella couldn't tell anymore, but it didn't matter. Soon, she would leave him forever. Whether she knew which version of him was real, it wouldn't make any difference. She spoke flatly. "You're overthinking. Didn't you say we're having a ceremony for our anniversary?" Samuel still didn't believe it and continued to pester her. "But what about the new documents you mentioned? What documents did you get? You even asked about flight tickets." "It's for a classmate of mine. She lost her documents and couldn't buy a ticket. She needs to get new ones." "Which classmate? You don't know her." "I know all your classmates." Isabella changed the subject. "Enough about me. What about you? Did you finish everything at work last night?" "Almost." Before he could finish, his phone rang again. Isabella was already used to Jennifer calling him and dragging him away. No matter what, Samuel was going to leave. So, she walked away and sat on the couch to wait. She heard Samuel's quiet reprimand. "I've told you already, don't call me when I'm at home." On the other end of the phone, she could hear a woman crying softly. Then, Samuel sneaked a peek at Isabella guiltily. "Fine. I'll come over now." After hanging up, Samuel hesitated before speaking again. "Bella, there's a small issue at the company that is left over from last night. I have to take care of it." Isabella nodded immediately. "Go ahead. Work's been busy lately." "I understand. Samuel hurriedly left once again. Isabella held her phone. She was waiting to see what shocking video Jennifer would send her next. As expected, Jennifer's message came quickly. This time, it was a photo, a hospital checkup form. Jennifer Lewis, 4 weeks pregnant, threatened miscarriage. Jennifer. Last night at the theater was too much fun and the baby's showing signs of miscarriage. The hospital says the baby's father needs to be there to sign the forms. Sorry, Mrs. Grant, but your husband belongs to me again today. Jennifer was pregnant. Isabella held the phone tightly, staring at the pregnancy test results. She couldn't snap out of it. Jennifer, I forgot to tell you, for the next week, he'll still be mine. He promised to go to Hawaii with me to celebrate our little baby. Jennifer, he's leaving the room to give you a call. Be prepared, Mrs. Grant. The way she said, Mrs. Grant was filled with a hint of provocation. Almost immediately, Isabella's phone rang. The screen displayed the word, honey. She took a deep breath and answered. Bella, I'm sorry. Something came up at work and I need to go on a business trip. Before he could finish, Isabella interrupted him directly. Go ahead. Samuel continued apologizing. Bella, don't worry. I'll be back for our anniversary. And the wedding ring, the symbol of our love, I'll put it back on you during the ceremony. Samuel, do you love me? Of course. You're the only woman I've ever loved in this life. Isabella replied, if one day you betray our love, I will leave you. Forever. Samuel laughed like he had just heard a joke. He chuckled and said, I won't ever give you that chance. I'm serious. I'm not joking. If I ever find out, you'll never find me again. As long as you're Isabella Jones, it doesn't matter where you go. Even if you run to the end of the world, I'll always find you. Really? What if I'm not Isabella Jones anymore? Samuel's smile widened and his voice was lazy and indulgent. How could you not be Isabella? All right, Bella, don't overthink things. I'll only ever love you. 1 week from now, I'll be back to spend time with you. 10 minutes later, the staff from Full Life Solutions sent her an address. When Isabella arrived, the staff handed her a stack of documents. Ms. Jones, from today on, this is your new identity. She flipped through the papers. Her new name was Alicia Farrow. Alicia was a beautiful name associated with parting. She was about to leave Samuel forever. She had chosen this name for herself. From now on, there would be no more Isabella Jones. There would only be Alicia Farrow. Ms. Jones. I mean, Ms. Farrow, we've also booked your ticket. It's for next Saturday at 10 a.m. to Frost Haven. Isabella gathered the documents and nodded, thanking the staff. Thank you. I'll transfer the full commission to your company's account later. Ms. Farrow, you still have a week to reconsider. If you change your mind, we won't charge you any fees. No, Isabella stood up, her tone firm. I won't change my mind. In the following days, messages from Samuel and Jennifer kept coming in. 3 days before their anniversary. Isabella checked her messages. Jennifer. The sea breeze in Hawaii is so nice. The seafood is delicious too, but he says I can't eat seafood because I'm pregnant. So he ran really far to buy me Eastern food. Attached was a picture of a Hawaiian beach scene. There was the sand and a coconut grove. Not far away, Samuel was opening a takeout box. Samuel. There are so few choices of Eastern food here. I had to travel far to find some. Bella, what did you eat today? Isabella had spent the day with her close friends. They had a barbecue and had a great time. After all, she was about to change her identity and leave. It would be hard to see them again, so she wanted to cherish this last time. 2 days before their anniversary, Isabella's phone vibrated with incoming messages. Jennifer. The baby is only a month old, and he's already studying early childhood education. He's going to be such a great first-time dad. The attached photo was of Samuel's desk stacked high with books. Isabella skimmed the titles: Baby Prenatal Education Guide, The Wisdom of Early Education, and so on. Samuel, Bella, I spent the whole day reading books. I've learned a lot. What about you? What did you do today? Isabella had gone to the bank. She exchanged all the funds from her account into foreign currency, withdrew cash, and closed all the bank cards under the name Isabella Jones. 1 day before their anniversary. Isabella glanced at her phone. Jennifer. He's so sweet and caring. He doesn't want anyone else to touch my clothes while I'm pregnant, so he's washing them himself. Look. The attached photo was of Samuel busy in the laundry room. Samuel, I didn't realize how exhausting laundry is. I think I'll leave it to the maid from now on. I don't want my darling wife working so hard. Isabella laughed. For 5 years of marriage, she had washed all of his clothes by hand. And now he was washing clothes for another woman. How ironic. Just then, the charity organization arrived. Isabella carefully cleaned and packed her old clothes, handing them all over to the charity. When she came back and saw the house nearly empty, she felt a sense of lightness she had never experienced before. It turned out that the end of love was just a moment's decision. Once she stopped loving him, she could be so carefree. The night before their anniversary, Isabella went to the mountaintop. Alone. She just looked up at the vast night sky, dotted with stars. The crescent moon hanging low. It was beautiful. When she received Samuel's call, it was already late. He sounded happy. Bella, I've just landed. I'll be home soon. I'll bring you some snacks. How about it? I'm not home. It's so late. Where are you? On the mountaintop. What are you doing on the mountaintop? Watching the stars. Wait for me, I'll come right now. Suddenly, there was a loud noise on the other end of the line. It sounded like a woman was speaking. Samuel snapped something in a low voice. The woman seemed persistent, and Samuel didn't say anything for a long while. Then, Isabella heard what seemed to be the sound of a kiss. Isabella sneered. Samuel, are you still coming? His voice was somewhat hoarse as he said, Bella, starting tomorrow, I'll be with you all the time. I just need to go to the office tonight and wrap things up. After that, I can focus on being with you. How does that sound? Isabella laughed. Sounds good. My darling wife is so understanding. Let's meet at the ceremony venue tomorrow. Oh, and don't forget the gift you got me. I'm really looking forward to the surprise you've prepared. Samuel, Isabella called him one last time. What is it? It's nothing. Nothing at all. From now on, Isabella Jones no longer existed in this world. After descending the mountain, she hailed a taxi. Hello, sir. To the airport, please. The driver noticed she was alone and asked with concern, Miss, where's your luggage? I can help you with it. I don't have any luggage. Just drive. All she had was a passport and a flight ticket. Everything else was donated or burned. Anything related to the name Isabella Jones had already been taken care of. 30 minutes later, the car stopped at the airport entrance. Isabella transferred all the money from her phone to the driver. The driver looked flustered. Miss, you transferred the wrong amount. It's $30, not 30,000. Let me send it back to you. It's fine. Thank you for the ride. She got out of the car and tossed her phone into the trash. Without looking back, she walked into the terminal.